Hi, it's Panda Movies here. Today I'm going to explain the Indian horror movie called The Body. Warning, there are spoilers ahead. Enjoy the video. The movie began with an unnamed famous man being murdered by a hired hitman named Wilkes in his apartment. Wilkes then received a call from his employer saying that the assignment had been completed as he was sipping a glass of very expensive wine that belonged to the dead man and enjoying a piece of exotic cheese called casu marzu. The only thing left to do was to discard the man's corpse, so Wilkes wrapped it up with multiple layers of tape, made it look like a mummy, and dragged it down to the lobby to exit the building. Fortunately, he performed the job during Halloween night, so when people saw him dragging a corpse, they all thought that he was dressed as a serial killer and the body was a part of his costume as a prop. While walking down the street, Wilkes bumped into adult partygoers named Alan, Morgan Adams, Dorothy, and Nick, who were all headed to a Halloween party that evening. When they saw Wilkes, they were immediately impressed with his efforts to make his costume look very real. They then tried to invite him to join them because they found his costume so amusing. He didn't show any interest at all, despite their offering him a ride afterward to wherever he will go. He just accepted the invitation when he spotted numerous police officers across the street who were in the area, looking into the vandalism of parked cars. They helped him carry the body and went to the venue. When they entered the party, it was filled with people dressed up in different costumes. Moments later, Jack Baker, the sponsor and host of the Halloween party, came in the scene and put on a whole production to introduce himself to the people, as well as showcase his costume at his mansion. The wrapped corpse is brought in by Wilkes, and it piques the curiosity of partygoers who think it is a prop. Wilkes, as the party went on, didn't show any interest at all and just wanted to leave the party, making zero effort to hide his real identity and using the Halloween occasion to mask his scheme and letting everybody think that it was all a part of his show. While having drinks, he got Maggie's attention. Maggie was Jack's employee, dressed as Marie Antoinette. She followed him to the balcony, introduced herself, offered him a drink, and had a chat with him. When he informed her that he was so ready to leave, she offered to get him a ride out of the place and let him go on his merry way. When Maggie was getting Wilkes a ride, Jack, Alan, Dorothy, and Nick prevented him from leaving, with Jack promising Wilkes a ride after they did shots in a private room. While people were gathering in the room, the corpse started to make sounds, and everyone thought that it was an animatronic. Wilkes then allowed Jack to kick the body, and all were shocked to discover that it was an actual dead body when blood poured out of the man's mouth, seeping through the transparent tape. Wilkes pointed a gun at Jack, making everybody scared. He then revealed that he was a hitman before throwing a knife at Nick to kill him after learning this information and making a promise to kill the others. Wilkes then presented a whole spiel about making everybody not completely sane and how murder can be justified. Maggie then appeared to be drawn to his speech. Wilkes then demanded the car keys, and he asked Maggie to open it. However, Wilkes was tricked when the drawer appeared to be a booby-trapped drawer, and the distraction enables Jack, Alan, and Dorothy to flee with the corpse because Alan believes there will be a reward. Maggie was left alone with Wilkes, and after threatening to kill her, Jack revealed that he had a secret passageway out of the room. The three went down to the garage while carrying the body, panicking as to what they would do next. While Wilkes was figuring out where the passageway may be, Maggie spotted Jack's phone and took a picture of their dead friend. When Wilkes found it, they managed to figure out the passcode and left the room. Jack was able to spot a police officer whom he initially thought was drunk. When the policeman arrived, he immediately went into defense mode when he saw the body and thought that the three had killed a man. They then identified the man when they ripped off the tape covering his face. Wilkes then got out of the elevator and the three ran with the body. The policeman attempted to stop Wilkes, but he used Maggie as a distraction by shooting her on the arm while Wilkes slit the policeman's throat. The three wandered in the streets while dragging the body using a cartwheel, panicking over what to do next. Later, Maggie, using her technology and hacking skills, sent them the pictures of their dead friend and the dead police, framing them for the murders. And this just made them panic even more. They started bickering with one another and started pinpointing each other's mistakes. Dorothy then started thinking rationally and made Jack and Alan snap back into their senses, realizing that they had already meddled with the crime scene. That's when Jack, Alan, and Dorothy set out to destroy the body, first trying acid, then taking him to an incinerator at a funeral home. The group was followed by Wilkes, who beforehand shared a kiss with Maggie before stabbing her and leaving her to die. Wilkes tracked down the trio to the funeral home. He then happened to kill a security guard on his way in, followed by Jack, who got separated from the rest of the group. Dorothy and Alan, who were the remaining survivors of the trio, hid the body in the incinerator while they waited for the oven to heat up. They attempt to shoot and strangle Wilkes when he arrives, but they are unsuccessful. After Wilkes murders Alan, Dorothy unintentionally shoots herself when a bullet meant for the hitman strangely rebounds off a thin metal tray and hits her in the middle of her forehead. When Wilkes finally finds the body, he calls his employer to let him know everything is in order. However, Maggie, who has survived the stabbing, shoots him while he is on the phone. She drags Wilkes' body to a dumpster after wrapping it in police tape, which she discovered nearby. The movie ended with Maggie discarding Wilkes' body in a dumpster, while people assumed that it was a part of her costume.